officers, councillors and our viewers live streaming tonight's meeting. My name is Councillor Lena Messina and I'm the Mayor of Darebin City Council and the chairperson of tonight's Hearing and Submissions Committee meeting. It is my pleasure to welcome you all. Due to the current COVID-19 restrictions, this meeting will be held virtually and be closed to the public in the interest of health and safety of the public, councillors and staff. I declare this meeting open at 5:31. Officers, can you please admit the submitters for this evening's meeting? And can I ask the officers to confirm that when the submitters are admitted and muted and the cameras are off, please?
Yes, the submitters have been admitted. And we just have Councillor Greco who is rejoining the meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, ready.
Thank you. Welcome to our two submitters tonight. As you've been advised, please keep your camera and video off. And when we get to the point of the meeting where you make your submission, I'll invite you by name, and one by one, I'll ask you to turn your camera and audio on and address the Hearings of Submissions Committee this evening. Thank you. Welcome everybody again. Darebin City Council acknowledges the Wurundjeri Woi people as the traditional owners and custodians of the land and waters we now call Darebin, and pays our respect to their elders past, present and emerging. Council pays respect to all other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities in Darebin. Council recognises and pays tribute to the diverse culture, resilience and heritage of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. We acknowledge the leadership of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities and the right to self-determination in the spirit of mutual understanding and respect. The health and safety and wellbeing of the community has and will always be paramount consideration of this council. Council continues to be guided by the government directives and wants to be able to do the right thing for the health of our community during the COVID-19 pandemic. This meeting has been held virtually in line with current health restrictions. Should technical problems be encountered by the committee, the meeting may be adjourned until these are resolved with a maximum of 30 minutes. And if we cannot resolve the problem, we will reschedule the meeting. In such circumstances, an advice message will be shown on your screen. This meeting is being held live streamed via link on the council website, so the public will be able to view the proceedings of the meeting. The meeting is also being recorded and will be made available on the council website as soon as practical after the meeting. For visually impaired community members, the closed caption featured will be available on the recorded meetings. There are a few housekeeping matters and technical tips for councillors that I need to pass on. Please leave your video on and mute your sound unless you wish to speak. If you wish to electronically raise your hand, hover over the participants button in the main window and then press the small hand symbol in the right-hand corner. Please use this if you wish to ask a question or leave the meeting, so I'm aware of this. You can also just raise your actual hand to get my attention. There is no chat facility available during the meeting for councillors, submitters or general viewers. At Darebin, we pride ourselves on being a progressive council, and in the interest of leadership, I have high expectations we'll be professional in our conduct and the language we use throughout the evening, and be respectful in our debate. The chamber, virtually or in person, is both a workplace and a public space, and we have an obligation to ensure that the working environment and the public forums are safe for everyone, both emotionally as well as physically. Membership. Before we commence, I'd like to introduce the councillors and senior staff who are with us this evening and to confirm councillors can see and hear each other. I will welcome you one by one so that we have quorum during the meeting. So I will welcome you based on the names that I first see on the screen. The first councillor I see is Councillor Susan Rennie.
Good evening, Mayor Messina, and welcome to our community members.
Good evening. Councillor Tom Hammond.
Hello, Mayor. Hello, everyone.
Good evening. Councillor Trent McCarthy.
Good evening, Mayor, and good evening, everyone that's joined us.
Good evening. Councillor Tim Lawrence.
Good evening, everyone.
Councillor Julie Williams.
Good evening, Mayor, and welcome everybody.
Thank you. Councillor Suzanne Newton.
Thank you, Mayor Messina.
Councillor Caetano Greco.
Good evening, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, councillors. I can confirm that we have quorum this evening, and I'd like to introduce our officers tonight that are online. We have Sue Wilkinson, the Chief Executive Officer, Jodie Watson, General Manager, Governance and Engagement, Greg Phippen, the Coordinator of Property Services, and Stephen Mann, Coordinator of Council Business. Good evening to you all, officers, this evening. Thank you, and let's get underway. Apologies is item number 2. I note that Councillor Demetriadis is an apology. Item number 3, councillors, are there any disclosures and officers, any disclosures to declare in relation to conflict of interests?
No.
Thank you, and there are none noted. Item number 4 is confirmation of minutes of previous meetings. Councillors, can I please have a motion for the adoption of minutes of the hearing of submissions committee meeting held on the 11th of October? Thank you, and can I ask who will be moving that? And I'm moved by Councillor Williams and seconded by Councillor Greco. That is noted. I'll put that motion to the vote. All those in favour? That is carried unanimously. Thank you. Item number 5, councillors, is a consideration of reports. We'll move into this matter this evening. The Hearing Submissions Committee is delegated committee of council established for the sole purpose of exercising council's powers, functions and duties related to the hearing of submissions, received in accordance with Section 223 of the Local Government Act 1989. Today, we have a hearing submissions on a property matter, the proposed declaration of road as a public highway adjoining 4 to 9 Kenwood Court and 19 to 47 Shower Street, 15 to 19 Railway Place and 32 Oakover Road, Preston. Mr. Greg Phippen, our coordinator for property service, will introduce this report, and there'll be an opportunity to ask Mr. Phippen questions. As I have earlier advised, we have 2 submitters to be heard on this matter. Before I introduce Mr. Phippen introduces his report, I remind councillors and our viewers that this evening is simply about the hearing of submissions committee listening to the submitter, and no decision on this matter will be made tonight. Our council officers will present a report on the matter at a future council meeting, wherein they'll make a formal recommendation to the council for your consideration. The submitters will normally have 2 minutes to speak to support of their submission. However, as the chairperson, I have the discretion to extend this. In this instance this evening, I have decided to allow the submitters 3 minutes if required. Item number 1, the property manor proposed declaration of a road as a public highway adjoining 4 to 19 Kenwood Court, 19 to 47 Shower Street, 15 to 19 Railway Place West and 32 Oakover Road, Preston. I now invite Mr. Phippen to introduce the item.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, for the opportunity to speak on this report. So as you know, the Council has endorsed the road declaration to go out for public submission. We did receive 3 submissions to this inquiry. This relates to the Oakover development site. It's a road declaration that runs in parallel with the development plan and proposed planning permit for social and affordable housing in that area. The permit's currently managed by DELP, for consideration, in which the Council's Planning Committee also has an influence over that decision. Under the road declaration process, it looks to declare previously reserved land that prohibited access into that site, as well as a 3-metre wide road that goes onto Council's public road register. During the submission phase, we did receive 3 submissions in which 2 applicants wanted to be heard in light of that matter. As you've already noted, that this would be a hearing to enable them to voice their concerns for this, and we will be presenting a report back to Council for further consideration on this matter.
Thank you.
No
Councillors, do we have any questions to Mr. Phippen? Thank you. Now, first, I'd like to request Deborah Plantardis to address the meeting. Is Deborah in? Can I have IT? Good
Yes,
evening. Would you like us to call you Deborah or Debbie?
Debbie,
It
please.
says Debbie. Good evening, Debbie, and thank you for taking your time out during your family time to address the committee. You have 3 minutes. Just want to advise you that when we have 10 seconds left, I generally say 10 seconds, but it depends on, I can tell by the discussion and your presentation in terms if I have to do that or not based on the timing. You don't have to take the full 3 minutes, but it is at your discretion. Once again, welcome. You have 3 minutes to address the committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone, Madam Mayor, council members and all the officers. You've probably read my submission. I assume you've read the submission, and so you are aware of the concerns. I'm a resident here for a very long time, and what looks good on a map in reality is very, very different. If you have appendix item 5.1 in front of you, what you don't see is that 36 Shower Street is now no longer just a block, one house. It is actually made out of eight units who are going to use that laneway on the side to come out. The distance between that laneway and the laneway that's next to my house at 45 Shower Street is minimal. What is also not shown is on the corner closest to the north face is at 46 and 48. We have a garage, and we also have a development there that's been approved by VCAT with another 8 car parks. So in a small street, you've got access areas and lanes that lead to Shower Street on many, many levels. What is also not noted that I did put in my report is right at the end, number 1, that's actually St. John's College. And if you've ever been to St. John's College at 3:05 or 3:30, you will find that you will not be able to access or turn the corner there. Parents pick up their students. There is not enough room at the moment for them to go into the lane. Of course, what concerns me is that there is projected development also on 47 Shower Street, which is in the pipeline, and also possibly number 40 as well. Now, 47 want to use the laneway for access. In the past, it was for a projected 8 units. So you can see that it becomes extremely dangerous and congested. So I have put in an objection to this in my submission because of the safety. If you look at the access points when you leave those lanes, there is no visibility. You can't see what's coming from Shower Street, from Railway Place, from 45 because my fence is high and there's low visibility on the other side. 19 on the other side, at the moment, the house on the end has been knocked down, so you can see cars coming, but you cannot see any cars coming on the other side. The street is very narrow, and as I've said in my report, most residents park on street. We know that when the council recommended initially permit, you agreed and you saw the light that we have on Shower Street, nowhere else to park. We can't park on St. George's Road. We can't park on Oakover Road. We can't park now on Railway Place. So we have limited car park. Your suggestion to have people enter from 19 to park where at the back of the lane is going to introduce more traffic to us and also introduce the danger of cars coming in and out. That's a big consideration. Visibility is very, very low. So when they are coming in and out, you've got school traffic, you've got low visibility. We know that we, as humans, we won't park. They won't park in the intended car parks for them. They might remain on the street. Hence, if they remain on the street, competition for car parking becomes really, really difficult. That's why I suggested that the road is coming from Oakover Road, where it's wider, it's visible, and offshoot that parallel road within the development.
Thank you, Debbie. Sorry, it's time.
Yeah.
I gave you a little bit more, only because, and it goes by so quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And we have received your submission in writing. I just would like to advise the councillors that Kathy and Jim have not presented during the meeting, so that hence why I gave you a little bit more time. But thank you very much, Debbie, for your time. Please enjoy the rest of your evening, and we look forward to the report coming into chambers. Councillors, I now ask for a motion, please.
Mayor, I'd like to move the officer's recommendation as listed in the report.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Let me just, could you call out your names? Because I
Mayor
cannot
Messina, I'm happy to
Thank
second.
Thank you, Councillor Rennie. Councillor McCarthy, would you like to speak to the motion? Or
Thanks, Mayor. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll just highlight the key points of the motion. As councillors would be aware, this is a hearing of submissions committee, so we are not making decisions this evening in relation to this matter. This is, of course, as you, Mayor, stated earlier, an opportunity for submitters to present their case to us. And I'd like to thank Debbie for her submission as the ward councillor for Southwest Ward, which includes these streets and this particular situation. It's been great to hear from residents and also to receive those submissions. So I thank you very much. And the motion also formally expresses that thanks to all submitters and presenters. Just to outline what's going to happen next, the next step will be for council officers to give consideration to those submissions and any other information that becomes available, to prepare a report for a future council meeting, and then for council to consider what it wishes to do with this proposal. So we don't know what that recommendation will be at this stage. This is an evidence-based process, and the submissions from residents and any other parties are absolutely important to our consideration in this process. So I just want to once again thank presenters and submitters and commend the motion that's listed, and look forward to having this matter come back to us for a decision in the near future.
thank you, Councillor McCarthy. Councillor Rennie, would you like to speak to the motion?
Thank you, Mayor Messina. I believe that Councillor McCarthy has covered all the points. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillors, are there any further questions? Are there any further speakers? If there are no further speakers, I will now put that to the vote. All those in favour? I declare that motion carried unanimously. Thank you. Thank you, and once again, Debbie, for your presentation, and you'll be advised when the report comes into the chamber, and then we'll have a debate on that particular item based on the officer's recommendation. Thank you very much for your time, and I now declare the close of the meeting. Thank you at 5:48. Thank you, councillors. Thank you, officers, and thank you, submitter.